Hello guys, welcome to the next episode of Casual Tutorial Video. I'm Mark Anthony J. Vidalio, your Casual Tech teacher for today. In this video, we're going to have Precalculus. Specifically, we're going to solve some problems involving circles using Casual FX9860G2. To begin with, let's solve this problem. Find the equation of the circle passing through the points A with coordinates -7, 0, point B with coordinates 1, 4, and point C with coordinates 7, 2. Give also the center and radius of the circle. Okay. It said here that the points A, B, and C are on the circle. Meaning to say, if you're going to substitute the coordinates to the general equation, it will lead to systems of equation with three unknowns. Now our question here is, using Casual FX9860G2, how are you going to solve problems involving systems of equation? Now, on menu, go to the equation. To do that, use this navigation button. Alright. You can see here in the keylog the buttons that I am pressing so that you can follow. Okay. Now, like I said, go to the equation mode. Okay. Then, there you go. So since the problem involves systems of equation with three unknowns, so to solve that, you have to solve it simultaneously. So I'm going to press F1. Now, the good thing in this calculator is that it's so powerful that it can solve systems of equation up to 6 unknowns. But for this particular problem, so we're just going to limit our discussion with three unknowns. Okay. So I'm going to press F2. Now, for instance, so I'm going to use point A. If I'm going to substitute point A with coordinates -7, 0 to the general equation, that will give me this equation. Okay, note that here, I can rewrite this general equation into bx plus cy plus d equals negative quantity x squared plus y squared. Alright, so that's input. Okay, if x is -7, so that will be -7b. Okay, y is 0, so 0c plus d, so the coefficient of d is 1. And then for the constant, that's negative of the sum of the squares of -7 and 0. So that is -49. There you go. Now, for the second equation, so again, the second point is b with 1, 4. So I'm going to have 1 as a coefficient of b. For the coefficient of c, so we have 4. The coefficient of d is, of course, still 1. Now, again, for the constant, that is 1 squared plus 4 squared, that's 17. And if you're going to transpose it on the other side, you're going to have -17. And lastly, the point C has coordinates 7, 2. So I'm going to have 7. Okay. Then 2. Then another 1 for the coordinates of d. And of course, for the constant, that is 7 squared plus 2 squared, which is 53. Transpose it on the other side, we're going to have -53. There you go. Our equations are complete now. So, pressing XA again, that will give you three numbers. Or XYZ here, but this XYZ corresponds to B, C, D respectively. So therefore, the value of B, C, and D are -2, 12, and -63 respectively. Therefore, the general equation of the circle is x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 12y minus 63 equals 0. Okay. Now, it was mentioned in the problem After getting the equation of the circle, you have to get the center and radius of the circle. Manually, how are we going to do that? Of course, manually, we can transform it into standard form by completing the square, right? But here, the good thing in this calculator, actually, we can plot, or we can actually see how the circle looks like. At the same time, in an instant, you can actually get the x-intercept, the y-intercept, the center, and the radius. How are you going to do that? Okay, so since circle is one of the 4 conics, so I'm going to use another mode here, which is the conics mode, right here, besides the equation mode. So again, on menu, use navigation button to move to that. Okay, then exit. Okay. For discussion purposes, so that you can easily follow, I'm going to erase the keylog here. Alright. Now, again, on the menu, okay, you can see here the form, the parabola that opens to the right. Okay. Parabola that opens upward. And then we have circle. That's what we're going to use later. We have a hyperbola and ellipse. But again, for this discussion, let's have circle. So since it's general equation, so I'm going to use this. Okay? Now, then press exit. Okay. Now, the general equation on this format is ax squared plus ay squared plus bx plus cy plus d equals 0. Note that in circle, the coefficient of x squared and y squared should be equal. In this case, in this particular problem, our a has a value of 1. There you go. Then, earlier, we're able to get the values of b, c, and d, and that is -2. All we have to do is just to enter it. We have c equals 12. And lastly, for d, we have -63. Alright. Then, to show that, we have to press draw. We have to press F6. There you go. So, it's too big, so we can zoom it out, zoom it in, actually. So press F2, then F4, exit. Okay, so again, F2, F4, exit. Alright, then just navigation mode at bottom so that you can see the entire circle. There you go. This is how our circle will look like if you're going to plot it on a Cartesian plane. Now, like I said, going back to the problem, what's the center and radius of the circle? Actually, like I said, by pressing F5 or G-solve, you can actually get the following: center, radius, x-intercept, and y-intercept in an instant. Okay, for this problem, pressing F1 will give me the center, which is 1, -6. Okay, go back to G-solve. Okay, press F2 for the radius, and that's 10. There you go. So therefore, the answer on our problem, the general equation of the circle, again, is x squared plus y squared minus 12x plus 12y minus 63 equals 0, with center 1, -6, and radius 10. There you go. So I hope you learned something for this episode. So I'm going to see you next time. Good day.